Good morning, Paul Georgie from Allendale. It's May 1st, Tuesday morning, and we see the May Day holiday celebrated around the world. A lot of Europe is closed today. We've got Japan closed for their Golden Week. They'll be closed all week. And China has another holiday today, so they will be closed. And we're seeing that effect on the macro markets. Markets are relatively quiet there. However, China did release some manufacturing index and show that they're improving for the fifth straight month, so that's adding a little bit of support to the market. However, Spain has now fallen into recession according to their economic data. So highlights on some of the economic and macro news here, but the fundamental news that we got to talk about here this morning is the USDA planted acreage or planted progress numbers from yesterday. 53% corn, 12% on soybeans. Wheat plantings way ahead of normal as well. Those numbers are putting some pressure on the grain prices here at the Chicago Board of Trade overnight, and expect to see some continued pressure there today because of the speed of planting we've seen, especially in corn. With 53% planted, that's and 50% kind of the threshold for corn. We have achieved that date about 8 days earlier than normal. So the big question that we ask, now that we know that we've got this corn planted, is what is the USDA going to do with the yield on their May 10th report, next week's supply-demand report. We went back in history and looked at the data and how they adjust it. They usually use the yield number that they use in their February meetings, and which right now is 164 as an average yield. And with the early planting information and early planting success that we've had, it is likely that they could actually increase the average yield used in the supply-demand numbers. If they would do that, combined with a large number of acres, you can imagine the size of the corn crop and the potential carryover that would be coming out of that. So that's something that's going to have to be monitored very closely here in the next few days, and how you might position yourself going into that supply-demand report. The other news is Kansas Wheat Tour will be starting today. They will be looking at a wheat crop that's much more mature than normal, as much as 3 weeks ahead, and 74% headed. So we'll get some pretty good idea on what kind of wheat crop we've got in Kansas. We probably won't get any data on that until late tomorrow, or maybe even as late as Friday when the tour is complete. So those are factors that we've got to look at today. We've got weather situation that is going to keep producers out of the field here for the next 5 days or so, with weather systems moving through the Midwest, but there will be isolated areas and times when there will be planting done. So we should see some progress this week, but certainly not as much as we've seen last week. The weather in Europe is also a factor. There is some rain in Western Europe that has moved into the growing areas, and there's increasing chances of rain for Ukraine and Russia that's in the forecast now. So hopefully looking a little better there, and giving them a potential to have a decent crop in spite of the extremely dry conditions that they're having right now. In the livestock trade, cash cattle haven't traded yet this week. We expect to see some pressure in the cash market as show lists continue to build because of the lack of packer production, which is should cause some pressure in the cash cattle market this week. We're also seeing cutout values kind of stabilize here. Choice product was up 13 cents, select up or down 11 cents yesterday, and we're at a time here where we could see some some downward pressure on the product. We've had a very sharp rally due to reduced production at the packing house level. However, now that margins are back in the black and are very near black in the packers side of things, they will and could increase production a little bit as demand for the beef has improved some. So that's looking ahead here. We've also got the potential for cookout season to get underway here. The weather for the weekend through a lot of the metropolitan areas of Chicago and New York seem to be a lot warmer this weekend, with hopes of increasing demand for some cookout featuring there. Pork cutout was up 105 yesterday. Finally seeing some improvement in pork product. That's significant anyway. The last several days we've seen a 10 cents, a 17 cents move up and down. Not a very good sign. This is the first sign that we've seen of some improvement in product demand for pork. Hopefully that can continue. This has caused some increase in futures prices here overnight, so we'll watch that closely. We need a big turnaround day in the livestock markets here on the upside in order to get this trend change from down to at least sideways. So we're watching all those things. We suggest you give Allendale representatives a call if you got any questions. You can reach us here at Allendale at 800-262-7538. We wish everybody a very successful trading day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow morning.